Did you know that just after the Civil War, there were some people in Montgomery County who were saying, there's gold in them there hills? And they were right. The hills they were talking about were around Potomac. Gold mining was a profitable business in Montgomery County, and some of the remnants of that business still survive today. Meet Walter Getz. He's an engineer by vocation, but a gold mine historian by avocation. We met up with him at Great Falls National Park, where Montgomery County's most visible gold mine remains can be found.
Well, my initial start with the mining area here became as a result of raising 3 daughters, and it's a great living history example. No one had located the mines in this area, so I decided that would be a good project for the family.
The gold in Montgomery County is part of the Appalachian Gold Belt, which runs along the coastal plain from South Carolina all the way north to Maryland. Throughout this area, gold is embedded in rock. It also, thanks to erosion, made its way into the streams, where Jack Nelson still pans today.
Gold was first discovered on a farm up in Brookville, Montgomery County, above Albany, on the Ellicott farm. And they opened a mine, I think in 1849, which operated for a very brief period. And then gold in this area was discovered during the Civil War, when some soldiers washing out their mess kits supposedly found gold in the sediments of the stream.
After the Civil War ended, mines sprang up in Montgomery County. Most were located near what we now call Potomac and had names like the Ford Mine, the Miller Mine, the Anderson, and the Maryland Mine.
The Maryland Mine, the property we're on, is the longest lived of the mines and didn't close down until 1939. There are 2 shafts, the one closest to the road being the shaft number 1 was actually put down in 1891, and it went down 135 feet. In the 1930 period, they sunk the other shaft and it went down 210 feet, and it was interconnected with tunnels. And then right behind us is a 25,000-gallon water tank. That tank was used to store water that was pumped out from the mine since it was below the water table. And the building that you can see behind us is a blacksmith shop. Down the hill from the blacksmith shop and the water tower, there are the remains of a crushing mill that was used to actually extract the gold on the property from the gold ore. And also on the property is the oldest of the shafts, the 1867 shaft, and this was the shaft that was actually dug by hand, pick and shovel operation, and this shaft was the earliest of the shafts on the property and is pretty much what you'll see if you're looking for the kind of physical evidence that still exists on the property.
A miner's life was very hard. A man could expect to earn about 12.5 cents a day doing this difficult job. Here in Montgomery County, they worked in shafts that were dug well below the water table. Mines were not only pitch black, they were constantly dripping water. Each worker was equipped with a light to see and outfitted with oilskins to stay dry. The larger mines operated round the clock, running 3 shifts a day. Miners could only enter and leave a mine by way of a mine cage.
And this was hooked onto a windlass, and this was then lowered into the ground. There was room for 1, possibly 2 miners, and they lowered them into the mine in the morning, and they brought the cage up. And then they put a bucket on it. And of course the bucket was to bring up the gold ore that was being mined. And they didn't bring up the miners until a sufficient amount of gold ore had been mined. So there wasn't any labor problems, because once you lower the people into the mine in the morning, they're there until you lower the mine cage again. A little bit different than today's world.
The last of the Montgomery County mines closed down in 1939, but it wasn't because all the gold was gone.
Does any gold remain today? Absolutely. In fact, there's gold in every single stream that flows into the Potomac from Chain Bridge to Point of Rocks. And today's gold panner could go out and verify for themselves that there's still gold in those streams, and there's gold on this property. The problem is that in order to mine gold, you need not only gold and gold quality, but you need land. And This is parkland, and there isn't enough land in Potomac that's open to open any commercial mining. So the gold is here, but of course it's under a lot of Potomac real estate.
And what about the gold in the streams?
Well, I think nowadays you don't make any money panning gold. You do it just for the fun of it. And I suspect in my 8 years of panning for gold here in Montgomery County in Virginia and Pennsylvania, I've probably made an average of maybe 20 to 25 cents an hour if I don't count my expenses. So you can't make money at it here. It's just a recreational thing, and it's fun to do because you're out in nature, and that is enjoyable.